Hello, Jet Setters. I'm Jeb Brooks from greenergrass.com. Right now, I'm in Copenhagen. I'm here for a really special reason. You see, Scandinavian Airlines, or SAS, are about to inaugurate their brand new Airbus A350 on a flight to Chicago, and I'm on the very first flight. There's nothing quite as exciting in aviation as an inaugural flight, and I'm so excited to bring this one to you. So I hope you'll join me. Let's head over to the airport and get out of the cold.
Copenhagen is known as the city of bikes, and if I were a more intrepid traveler, I would have ridden one to the airport. But I had luggage, so I took a taxi instead. Now, this wasn't the first time I'd tried to fly with SAS. Unfortunately, I had a flight back in 2018 that was canceled. As soon as I got to the check-in desk that day, I could tell something was wrong, and because of a mechanical problem, I was rebooked onto a Virgin Atlantic flight. That was a great trip, of course, but I've been wanting to try SAS for such a long time, and the day has finally arrived. So back to that taxi. I soon arrived at the gateway to the Nordics, Copenhagen Airport. Naturally, I was hours early, so I checked out this massive place. One of the primary reasons for my love of aviation is the sheer number of places it can take you. The Faroe Islands are high on my list. Have you been? Eventually, I made my way to the lounge. Like the rest of the airport, it's an expansive place. There's plenty of seating. I didn't struggle to find a spot at all. The food was plentiful and fresh. But perhaps most importantly, the espresso was strong. Unfortunately, though, there really weren't any views in this lounge. For that, I had to go elsewhere. I also caught a glimpse of the bird the new A350 aims to replace, the Airbus A340. Its four engines simply require too much fuel. But more about that later. Let's meet the star of the show.
I'm here early, no surprise about that, but there's already a buzz, there's already excitement. I got here right as the airplane was being towed up, which was super exciting. So let's get this party started.
A crowd soon gathered. Food and drinks were put out. And then it was time for some short remarks.
Today is a historical day for us. This is a milestone for us. A big investment. We are investing in 8 new aircrafts. This is the most fuel-efficient aircraft on the market. Thank you.
We are very happy and proud to be becoming the launch airport of the new A350 that marks a new era in long-haul operations by SAS. I wish you, passengers and the crew, a great first trip with the A350s. Thank you very much.
And with the formalities behind us, the crew boarded the aircraft, and soon, so did we. Walking down this jet bridge was so freaking exciting. I wish more of them had this much glass. Even-numbered seats are far more private than odd ones, like the one I chose, 7H. Each seat on this inaugural service had a paper bag full of sustainable Scandinavian snacks. The amenity kit is also well stocked for a route of this length, just over 8 hours. Now let's take a look around the seat. The IFE screen is massive without overpowering the seat. There's a large surface here which is great to leave a laptop on while eating. There's a light, seat adjustments, including a massage feature by the way, plenty of secure storage, a universal plug, a USB power source, a headphone jack, and a remote for the touchscreen IFE. The tray table is large, but it sags to the side, something I'd expect from a much older plane, not one that's brand new. There were also seat adjustments that are accessible when the seat is in its lie-flat position, and given the fact that this is a Scandinavian airline, I'm glad to see a coat hook on the seat. There are no individual gaspers or air vents in the passenger service unit above. There was more than enough room in the overhead bin for my US-sized carry-on and overstuffed backpack. I should also mention the cabin was full and I still had this much space to myself. It's nice to be on a new airplane with a plug that wasn't too loose. With all of that work out of the way, it was time to toast the new flight. Then we were pushing back. Now, a quick update from the captain.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SAS and Star Alliance. My name is Björn Alberg, captain on this service to Chicago and our premier flight with the Airbus A350. Have a flight time today of 8 hours 50 minutes, about 30 minutes shorter than if we would have flown with the Airbus 340.
What a treat to be in a flight where I wasn't the only one recording. How about that tail-mounted camera, though? Man. Days are always sunny above the clouds. While I was impressed with the IFE screen, the variety of content is a bit disappointing. But I did enjoy the tail-mounted camera for much of the flight anyway, which is good because sorry, I wasn't impressed with the provided noise-canceling headphones either. Service was a bit slow to start, but that's to be expected on a new aircraft type. I began with a gin and tonic and some warm nuts. And for a starter, I tried something new. Reindeer. I've never had it, have you? Flight attendants prepared all of the meals in advance and allowed passengers to choose from a trolley. I had the venison. Because of our 3:40 departure time and northerly route, we chased the sunset across the Atlantic. After such a great meal, it was time for a walk, and even with the tray table open, it's possible to get out of the odd-numbered window seats by lowering the armrest. Economy seats have 31 to 32 inches of pitch and are 17 inches wide. Economy passengers also have access to an onboard snack station at the back of the cabin. The middle of the plane was practically empty with only 3 passengers. I thought this would be a good chance to see what this seat is like. And here are those 31 inches of pitch. The seat is very well designed with space below the folding table for your knees. And the table, which opens in segments, is sturdy. Sturdier, in fact, than the one at my assigned seat, 7H. There's a USB power port included at each seat, along with a bright, responsive IFE screen. The Economy Plus cabin offers 38 inches of pitch and nearly 19 inches of width. Business class seats offer 77 inches of bed space and 21 inches of width. Speaking of the bed space, I decided to make it up as we overtook another transatlantic flight below us. The bedding SAS provides is nice, although the paper-thin mattress pad really doesn't add anything.
It's a daytime flight, so I'm not going to sleep, but I thought I'd check out the bed anyway, and it's really comfortable. I think if I were on a window, I'd prefer an even-numbered row, as I've said before, just because, that way you've got a little more privacy. But generally speaking, it's fine. It's got good width. I'm impressed with this seat. Very nice.
As Marcus Eck recommended, I checked out the bar in the business class. It was nice and is well stocked, but it's not quite as large or as easy to gather around as, say, Virgin Atlantic's or Emirates versions. In the end, the cabin isn't all that different from the old one. I flew to Copenhagen a few days earlier on the A330, and the differences are subtle, really require an eagle's eye to notice. In the future, though, I'll still seek out the A350. The cabin is just generally more comfortable than the old A330. Wi-Fi will be available on this aircraft. Because it's a new system for SAS, we were part of a test. An entire team was on board to get it working. Unfortunately, it was slow and cumbersome, but I'm sure that the kinks will be worked out very soon.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, your captain, we have started our descent inbound to Chicago. We'll be arriving already in 45 minutes from now. That's quite early. Actually, it's an hour ahead of us arrival time. To summarize the flight, we have reduced our fuel consumption with 10 tons with this aircraft, and the CO2 emissions have been reduced with 30 tons. Quite an impressive figure, actually.
If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I rate my international first and business class flights in an admittedly subjective way. I jokingly call it the Jeb score. I look at 5 components: the lounge, the seat, the in-flight entertainment, the food, and the service. First, the lounge. The SAS lounge in Copenhagen is massive and offered plenty of food and drinks. There's an entire floor I didn't even get to explore. I was impressed, but the lack of views really hurts them. This lounge earns 4 stars. The seat is amazing, quite possibly one of my favorite business class seats of all time. It was comfortable, offered great storage, and if you score one of the even-numbered window seats, you're in your own private cocoon. This is a 5-star seat. The in-flight entertainment, I'm sorry to say, was disappointing, and that's unfortunate because the screen is so good. Unfortunately, SAS only earns 3 stars for this IFE. The food was interesting and tasty. SAS did a nice job of highlighting local dishes, which is something I always like to see in an onboard food program. But they also did it with great flavors. This was 5-star food without question. The service was slow, but that's to be expected on an inaugural flight. If you're one of the people who inadvertently books a ticket on a flight like this, I understand your frustration. But the crew made up for it with great attitudes. They earned 5 stars. So that leaves SAS' brand new A350 service from Copenhagen to Chicago with 22 stars, which puts it on par with Malaysia Airlines business class and Swiss First. But what do you think? Leave your thoughts about this flight in the comments below. And between now and the next time,
See you in the sky.